WTH.
What the hell?
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 This is the WTH, the WTH podcast.
Hold on to your butts.
Jason Casey, Kareem Daniels, and Nate Darling. From the Darling New Media Studios.
This is the WTH podcast.
Alrighty, welcome in to everybody watching live on Facebook. Thanks for joining us, or even if you're watching later in the week on Facebook. Put all three of them out for you. We record on the Monday night. If you're a downloader, this is a week old.
1 week.
But it's new to you.
That's right. And we appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for downloading. Thanks for telling a friend. And thanks for doing your Amazon shopping through that Shop Amazon tab at the top of WTHpod.com. There should be more people like you doing that.
There should.
Especially as we go into Halloween time. This is the perfect time to either do the Shop Target or the Shop Amazon tab and get your Halloween candy, your Halloween costumes.
Ooh.
All of those things, so you don't have to sort through. Everybody has pawed through that shit.
You don't want all the stuff that people have touched.
You don't need that.
Nope.
Have somebody do it for you. Every Target store, they moved all the shit around. You don't know where it is.
Where'd it go this time?
Yep. Congratulations. It's all hipstery. Ooh.
All relegated to one shelf all the way in the back corner.
I don't know if we'd be talking shit about Target, but whatever.
We're talking about how great it is to use their online service.
Correct. Through the Shop Target tab at WTHpod.com. Anywho, got a lot to get to today on Monday. Of course, it's the airing of the grievances. We got all that to go through, and what else we got going on today?
No, what is it? Tell us.
Speak Out is back. The people in Plattsburgh are angry about things
Again. All right. Cool.
And we have something I called Sort of Florida Corner.
Sort of.
Because it's somebody from Florida, but they were on the road.
Well.
They were on the road. And it might be the best story of the week. It literally might be the greatest story of the week.
Don't build something up that you're not going to deliver on.
Oh, we're going to deliver.
All right. Hey, stay tuned.
We are going to deliver on it. It's a little bit later in the show. You know what? I normally have a little chit chat talking up here, and chit chat. I'm do some chit chat. So as we're doing this, so I'm going to do something that doesn't make any sense, because by the time you hear this show, week old, unless you're watching live, I'm going to Twitter right now to see what's happening. It's a tweet from Chad Dukes, who is a host at The Fan, the radio station in Washington, D.C. He tweets, "Nothing like being a lifelong fan of the worst team in football. The Bills are better, the Jags are better, the Raiders are better, the Bengals are better. The Dolphins seem to have a purpose. Hail to the Redskins, I hate you, I love you."
Wow.
Yeah, it was not a good night for Monday Night Football for Redskins fans. Bad time. Bad time for them. So let's quickly explore Twitter, and maybe we can find something. Horror icon Sid Haig has died.
Yeah.
He was 80. Monday Night Football is, of course, trending. Fat Joe's comments on blackness in Latin America spark a discussion. Not here.
That's an old one, too.
Yeah, I mean, Twitter isn't necessarily the hottest and latest. And of course, it's my Twitter, so you're going to get a lot of wrestling in my Twitter feed. Sorry.
Nice.
Let's see. Yep. Okay. If you're watching this live on Facebook, so this might be a week old, if you're not, but if you're catching us live on Facebook on the 23rd, tomorrow evening, Kingsguard, Buddy Healed, and the Buddy Healed Foundation will be hosting a private dinner at Camden Spit and Larder. I don't know if larder is... Anyway, to support his campaign to raise funds for the relief efforts in wake of the catastrophic devastation left by Hurricane Dorian. The space is limited. So that A ticket is $1,000. So if you got 1,000 laying around,
Just hang out.
yeah, it is Camden Spit and Larder on Capitol Mall in Sacramento. Silent auction with exclusive Kings items. So that's going on, and I'm sure there's other ways you can donate to help Hurricane Dorian relief as well. So a lot of stuff going on around the town. Scrolling through. Yeah, the worst thing about Twitter is when you really want to find something interesting to talk about, it's not there. It's like a lot of Game of Thrones stuff. Hey, Game of Thrones won the best drama series.
Good for them.
Or the darkest drama series.
Surprise, surprise.
Darkest drama series. So, today as this show drops is the 30th of September. And later this week, I am going to the Great American Beer Festival in Denver. Mm-hmm. So that's exciting. I'm very excited for it. A little nervous because my flight to Denver goes through Seattle, because of course it does, and my flight back comes through Salt Lake City because of course it does. But Friday I'll be at the Great American Beer Festival. There are apparently 800 beers to sample.
Nice.
And I have 4 hours.
You're going to get hammered.
Will I make it?
You're going to get hammered.
I'm not going to get hammered.
So are you going to take a counter to keep track of how many you get through?
No, I'm not going to. What, like an umpire? Balls and strikes?
Yeah. So there's a it's not this, but there's something similar to this that tours around different cities and stuff like that. And they'll have like 80 or 90 craft beer. Like, and I went to this one in San Diego with EJ, and it's like 4-hour periods. Like there's an afternoon session, an evening session, right. And we went to the afternoon session, and we got so fucking hammered in that 4 hours. So I'm just like, we weren't necessarily drinking to get hammered that day. It just ended up happening because there's so many great beers. That's back when I was drinking, so it was like 7 years ago. But yeah, it's gonna be similar to going to. It's gonna be similar to like going to dinner at the kitchen, where you don't eat all the food.
Right. So we'll talk a little bit more about that on the next show because we'll be coming to that. But I wanna talk about this. I'd forgotten about this, so I want to say congratulations to our friend of the show, Carl Fredericks, who we had on here about a year ago.
Yeah.
The pro wrestler Carl Fredericks. He had signed with New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's part of their. He's been with them for several months now. He's part of the Young Lions program, which is based out of Los Angeles. So that's where he lives and trains, and he's been in Japan wrestling. Carl Fredericks has won the Young Lion Cup.
Congratulations, Carl.
The 12th Young Lion Cup. So big deal. There he is hoisting the trophy, which if you have New Japan World, you can watch it. It's Destruction in Kobe, which is available on njpwworld.com. So that's a very big deal for him, and congratulations to Carl for achieving that, because that just means everybody in New Japan has a lot of faith in him and his abilities and his talent, and he clearly has busted his ass. So hopefully I'm going to reach out to him probably in the next month or so, once things calm down a little bit, and see if he wants to come back on the show when he's back in LA.
Yeah,
get something like that, because anytime I think of it, he's posting that he's in Japan, and with the time difference, it totally would not work out. And I don't know if it's going to work out at all in terms of what his training schedule is and stuff like that. But it's
nice.
It's he retweeted the New Japan announcement of him winning the 12th Young Lion Cup, saying, "Sorry, I didn't text you back. I was busy making history." So,
and he's the Lion King is his name, right? That's pretty cool because he won the.
Well, yeah, he changed it to that.
Yeah,
he changed his Twitter handle to that.
Well, no, of course. I mean, like that's funny. It's cool.
Yeah, it's at Carl with a K _Fredericks if you want to give him a follow. Good dude. Really fun. He paneled with us for a whole show. So it wasn't just a quick thing and gone.
He came into the studio. Well, your house studio.
Well, he came in via Google Hangout.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I met him.
No.
No. It was
I mean,
just a
we
Google
did
Hangout.
talk to him
We
for
did
a
talk to
while.
him.
It was Sam Platt you met. He's very different.
Yes.
No, there was somebody else that came in to one or two.
They do wear like the same size underwear.
That's true. It's true. It's unfortunate, but there you go. So that's the good news, and after the good news, well, then it's time to do this.
And now it's time for the airing of the f***ing grievances.
Alrighty, Jason. We'll start off with you.
Oh man. I love saving the environment. My wife would say it differently, because I like to use paper towels. And she's actually said in front of the daughter a couple of times, "You'll have to ask your daddy why he hates trees one day." But we use cloth diapers, all right, with the new one, and we've been using them the whole time, like pretty much since like the second week that she was born.
Okay.
And now that I'm at home, like part of what I need to do every day is wash diapers, and like so I'm touching pee pads and poop, and like then I have a bag that it goes like. Man,
you have a scrub board in the sink?
no, you don't have to do it. We just, I have to run a couple of washes because you have to rinse them and then you wash. Anyhow,
Sounds like wasting a lot of water to me.
well, man, it's one. Luckily there's plenty of it right now. Luckily there's plenty of it right now for us. But man, like I fucking hate it. Because like not only that, like so I have to you put them in, you rinse them right, with and you do that on tap cold water, and then you do a round where you use you have to make sure you get the right detergent because there's only certain detergents you're supposed to use with them, so you get the right detergent in there. So if you run out, then you're fucked for a day or two until you go and get that, which means you have to take the kid with you.
Well, no. Couldn't you just go through the Shop Amazon tab or the Shop Target tab at WTHpod.com?
Oh, man, that's what I should just be doing, huh, Nate? I can make my life easier.
Maybe that. They bring it right to your fucking house.
And you could probably get it the same day.
So you do that, and then you have to rinse them again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 3 cycles that you have to do, all right? Which means if you have any other laundry that you got to get done, like you're waiting, it's waiting time, right? Then after you do that part of it, you have to hang them up outside because you want them to get bleached. And the way you bleach them without using bleach, which could, possibly, sun bleaching is the best way to do it. So you do that. So then you have to go out and take them all out and button them up and put them on. Oh man. So yeah, that's what I've been dealing with, man.
You gotta leave it to Beaver.
Listen, I mean,
You gotta leave it to Beaver apron too.
all I keep telling myself is that we're saving ourselves thousands of dollars. That's all I'm telling myself every time I do it, is that we've saved ourselves $1,000 or so by not using any diapers that were disposable for this last.
Does your neighbor
6
talk
months.
to you over the fence while you're hanging out your clothes?
Yeah, their dog does.
Well, I just want to point out that if it's really too much for you, you could enlist something like Tidy Diaper Service, which handles all of that.
Bro, we're trying to save money, bro.
How much is your water bill?
Not that much, I guess. Listen, this is it's partially saving the environment, but more than anything else,
You're not saving the environment.
Yeah,
You're going through a lot of water and creating a lot of sewage.
it's not. Listen, it's just breast milk, bro. Once she starts eating the solid foods, actually, once we start introducing the solid foods, 6 months, we'll probably switch over to disposables.
4 months.
Well, Chris wants to. We're doing breast milk. Only,
Okay.
So you want to do that only if you're doing breast milk. It's 6 months, and only breast milk. So.
Kareem, what's your?
Well, after all this shit with Antonio Brown, I've seen so many people talking about the issues and what's going on. And I understand if it's people like us who are kind of informed. But if you're going to be on fucking TV or doing podcasts and you're going to talk about it, Read the fucking article.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be up there talking about shit that you haven't read the fucking article. And then be surprised when people are like, motherfucker, read the article before you're up here on national TV with millions of people, or on a podcast or something with millions of people listening to your shit, and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Read the goddamn article. Everybody.
Anyone in particular?
Not this week.
Okay.
There are too many of them to name. And to the punk asses who defended him up until last week, like Deion Sanders, who hasn't said shit about it since then.
Right.
James Harrison, who fucking appeared, hasn't said a goddamn thing.
Once he sent threatening text messages, you can't defend him anymore.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, all you motherfuckers who defended him and who ran Mike Tomlin's name into the ground because you thought he sided with Ben, fuck all of y'all. I'm afraid Antonio's gonna kill himself. That's what my fear is. So I want to say shit about him, but I don't want to say too much shit about him because But all of you motherfuckers who enabled him, or who on television enabled him, fuck you all. This is the shit that happens when you don't call people on their shit early.
I want to just quickly to add on to that. All of you people who thought that Terrell Owens and Randy Moss were problem divas, no, absolutely not. Nah, bro.
Nah, brah. Nah, brah.
So I have a grievance. And
Tell us, bro.
And my grievance is this. I don't have enough time to watch all of the wrestling. Last Wednesday, NXT went from the WWE Network, where it was on for 1 hour, and debuted on USA Network on broadcast TV, well, cable TV, and it's now 2 hours.
Oh, yeah, get that ad revenue.
This Wednesday, AEW launches Wednesday Night Dynamite, which is another 2 hours of live professional wrestling. So that means, and I don't have time for all of this, Monday Night Raw is 3 hours. NXT is 2 hours, that's 5. And then another 2 of AEW, that's 7. And then SmackDown moves to Fox on Friday night. That's 9 live hours of professional wrestling. And I don't subscribe to New Japan anymore, so I can't watch our friend Carl Fredericks.
Oh, damn.
So that's not even counting that. That's not even counting that. I don't have 9 hours for professional wrestling. I wish I did. I do not have time for that. Even if I forward through a lot of it, I just don't have the time in my life with a business and a baby and a wife.
Yes.
God damn it. Where was this when I was lonely and single?
And that's what I say every time I start playing one of my new video games.
What's a video game?
Yes.
What's a video game? I have time for an iPad game here and there while watching TV.
I know, man.
Oh, and while I'm at it, I guarantee you that once again, and this is, by the time you hear this, it will have already happened. Once again, the wrong person will have been crowned the winner of Big Brother. The person who played the best game, was the most dominant, is going to lose on the jury vote because the people in the jury are ass clowns. I guarantee it.
Those juries are all fucking rigged.
I guarantee it. Those are my grievances. There we go.
That's why I don't watch Big Brother.
No, it's one of the shows I watch with the wife. So,
oh, you gotta watch that.
It's no 90 Day Fiance. That show. Oh my god. Oh my god, Kareem, this is the best ever. So 90 Day Fiance. No, it's not the other way. It's 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. So there are a couple of couples where one member of the couple is in Africa. And one is Michael, who is in Nigeria, and he's 29, and he's dating Angela, who's 53.
Oh, Lord.
And they just a week ago had the episode where Angela met his mom, and his mom informed her that if she could not bear a child for him, that she should go ahead and let him find another woman to go ahead and bear that child. It didn't go well. It didn't go over well.
That sounds about right.
And then there's this guy, Benjamin from Phoenix, who's white. He has an ex-wife who's African-American, and they have a child together. He has gone to Kenya because he has fallen in love with Akini. And when he gets there, he has a bed and breakfast, or not a bed and breakfast, but a Airbnb that he has booked. He gets there and she says, "No, I'm not staying in the Airbnb with you. You need to stay with my brother because you have to win over my brother Fidel, or else he won't approve of our relationship." And then they're going to have a dinner, and the dad doesn't show up for that because we find out later that the dad, who's a preacher, wants him to meet the church elders so that they can approve of him first.
Okay.
That sounds right.
And apparently in a church in Kenya, what happens is you yell at lawn furniture a lot.
Okay.
Plastic lawn furniture. So that's what it is. By the way, people who are watching on Facebook, you get to check in with how much Kareem is on his phone. I want you to note that. Last week we just had the one shot the whole time. It was very evident. So I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, but that's it. 90 Day Fiance.
How was Smothered?
That, you know what? It had its moments, but it was a really short run because it was like first season. So we'll see if there's a season 2.
Wow.
If there is, Jason and I are doing the Smothered podcast.
My wife, I've come home and she's been watching she's now watched a few of those 90 Day Fiance.
Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Here's the common denominator in all of them. Those people ain't right.
No, it's not. I just don't like at least like I get pulled into like the Property Brothers shows and all of those types of shows. Like I can get pulled into those, so I'm all right with those, but I can't get into Dr. Pimple Popper. I can't get into that. I can't get into.
So you can't get into Dr. Pimple Popper.
I can't get into my 900-pound life.
600.
Well, whatever it is, man. I just can't get into those.
So
shows.
the reality shows that actually have reality, you can't handle.
I don't watch any of those reality shows.
The ones that actually, you want the reality shows that are bullshit.
I don't watch any of those either, dude.
Property Brothers bullshit.
Well, I mean,
you just said you could get into that.
You think that's all bullshit?
Yeah, I do.
It's all bullshit.
Mm-hmm. It's scripted.
I'm not saying it's not scripted, but they're tearing apart these houses and making new houses. I mean, like that's not scripted. I mean, like I like watching the transformation of the house. That's
sure.
At the Emmy Awards, apparently the
Kardashians
got laughed at.
They got laughed
for
at,
saying that their show was reality.
Yeah. Well, they're like, well, you know something about being in reality shows.
Fair enough.
And like, there's an audible
laugh.
Like it wasn't like it was the laughter of people not wanting them to cry on stage.
No, wanting them to cry.
Because it was a stifled laugh. It was the laugh of like.
All right, we need to get moving on that. We're 20. Yeah, we.
Come on, tell us about this.
I have to talk about this really quickly. There was a foreign reporter from Australia visiting the U.S. She writes, "I was stunned by Trump's press conference."
Did you say she?
She.
Fake news.
Said, as a regular news reader, I thought I was across the eccentricities of the U.S. president. Most mornings in Australia begin with news from America, the bid to buy Greenland, adjustments to a weather map, hand-drawn with a Sharpie, or other self-aggrandizing tweet, are headlines and news bulletins like headlines and news bulletins everywhere are full of Trump. And as a political reporter for most of the last 30 years, I've also endured many long, rambling political press conferences with Australian prime ministers and world leaders. But watching a full presidential Trump press conference while visiting the U.S. this week, I realized how much reporting of Trump necessarily edits and parses his words to force it into sequential paragraphs or impose meaning where it is difficult to detect. The press conference I tuned onto by chance from my New York hotel room was held in Otay Mesa, California, which is near San Diego, and concerned renovated section of the wall on the Mexican border. I joined as the president was explaining at length how powerful the concrete was. Very powerful, it turns out. It was unlike any other wall ever built, incorporating the most advanced concrete technology. It was so exceptional that would-be wall builders from 3 unnamed countries had visited to learn from it. There were inner tubes in the wall that were also filled with concrete, poured in via funnels, and also rebars, so the wall would withstand anyone attempting to cut through it with a blowtorch. Look, she's just recapping the press conference. The wall went very deep and could not be burrowed under. Prototypes had been tested by 20 world-class mountain climbers. That's all they do. They love to climb mountains, and they had been unable to scale it. It was also wired, so we will know if someone's trying to break through, although one of the attending officials declined the president's invitation to discuss the wiring features, saying, "Sir, there could be some merit to not discussing it," which the president said was a very good answer. The wall was amazing, world-class, virtually impenetrable, and also a good, strong rust color that could later be painted. It was designed to absorb heat, so it was hot enough to fry an egg on. There were no eggs to hand, but the president did sign his name on it and spoke for so long, the TV feed eventually cut away, promising to return if news was ever made. He did at one point concede that would-be immigrants unable to scale, burrow, blowtorch, or risk being burned could always walk around the incomplete structure, but that would require them walking a long way. This seemed to be an important point, but the monologue quickly returned to the concrete. In writing about this not especially important or unusual press conference, I've run into what U.S. reporters must encounter every day. I've edited skittering half-finished sentences to present them in some sort of sequential order and repeated remarks that made little sense. In most circumstances, presenting information as intelligible form as possible is what we're trained for, but the shock I felt hearing half an hour of unfiltered meanderings from the President of the United States made me wonder whether the editing does our readers a disservice. I've read so many stories about his bluster and boasting and ill-founded attacks. I've listened to speeches and hours of analysis, and yet I was still taken aback by just how disjointed and meandering the unedited president could sound. Here he was trying to land the message that he had delivered at least something toward one of the biggest campaign promises and sounded like a construction manager with some long-winded and badly improvised sales lines. I understood the dilemma of normalizing Trump's ideas and policies, the racism, misogyny, and demonization of the free press, but watching just one press conference from Otay Mesa helped me understand how the process of reporting about this president can mask and normalize his full and alarming incoherence. Wow.
That's crazy.
You can only imagine what those editors were like on his shows.
Oh, boy.
Talk about a job.
The thing is, on The Apprentice,
it's probably scripted anyways.
well, it's scripted, and it was like he would present the challenge, and that was pretty small. And then there was the boardroom, and they knew they had hours and hours of footage. So there's producers going this, and most of it wasn't him talking anyway.
Yeah, it's just people looking at.
Yeah, and people defending themselves. So it's a damning indictment on the president. In case you're wondering, for the people who don't actually watch, the thing I found alarming is when you get a written transcript.
Oh yeah,
of what he says, and then you try to read it aloud. It's like, what the fuck is he even saying? It almost sounds like something when he's doing it because he has a way of presenting it because everything is big and grand and blah, 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 blah. But
so the question is, why does the press still try to make him look?
Well, you're trying to put together a story that makes sense. I think that's really the only thing and the only reason they do it.
Because it's kind of like, I was reading that the New York Times sat on this Ukraine story because they still wanted access to him.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. I mean, if you're a news organization and you don't have access to the president of the United States, how are you doing the news? I mean, it's this damned if you do, damned if you don't thing. And when you're talking specifically about TV news, you've got a finite amount of time, even if you're a 24-hour news station, because you're 24 hours, but every show is only so long. You can't just have rambling nonsense forever. So I thought that was very interesting. But
I'm ready to go back and read that one.
yeah, it was quite something.
Let's leave the...
No.
And now it's time for
No.
Oh.
You know what? I'm going to edit all that out.
Yes.
Florida, land of enchantment and crazy shit. This is Florida Corner.
A skateboarder busted for allegedly causing a disturbance at a Florida mall and blamed a miniature Paul Blart for his arrest. Patrick Thompson, who's 23, told police that after briefly skateboarding inside the Indian River Mall, he was confronted around 4 p.m. by guard Sean Pisanelli, who announced, "You're going to jail, punk." When the cops arrived, Pisanelli said that Thompson had been swearing and calling names in front of the Chick-fil-A in the food court. Oh, no. Thompson claimed to be unaware that skateboarding was not allowed inside the mall. It's not allowed in any mall anywhere, you dipshit. Nope. Told the sheriff's deputy he called the security guard a miniature Paul Blart and a dumbass. He was charged with disorderly conduct and trespassing, misdemeanors, booked into county jail, released after posting $1,000 bond.
Shit.
Right?
Fuck, man.
It's a lot.
Well, we're trying to end cash bond bullshit.
Meanwhile, a theft suspect who made her getaway on a bicycle was arrested when a sheriff's deputy spotted her riding topless down the middle of a Florida highway. According to cops, a woman stole $19.99 flip-flops and other merchandise from a clothing store, and a worker at the Surfside Outfitters told investigators the suspect placed one item into her bag and then walked out of the business wearing the stolen shoes around 7 p.m. The employee said the shoplifter was last seen riding away through the parking lot on a bicycle. Now, after the shoplifting episode, several callers to 911 reported that a woman was riding her bicycle erratically down the middle of Highway 98, a two-lane road that runs through the island. When a sheriff's deputy pulled alongside the bicycle, the rider was not wearing a shirt. When the cop asked the woman to pull over, she replied, "Make me." So he pulled in front of her and took her into custody. The topless suspect, identified as Courtney Backus, who's 32, of course, all we see her is her Instagram photo. She was found in possession of the stolen goods and charged with retail theft and resisting arrest without violence. Those are both misdemeanors, and she was released after a $1,000 bond. Now, according to her Facebook page, she has a rap sheet that includes a 2015 DUI conviction. Oh, the DUI is not on her Facebook page. Yeah. It's very confusing. Whose rap sheet includes a 2015 DUI conviction, works as a bartender at a Marriott hotel, because of course she does.
Of course she does. Well, yeah. It's funny, like that's a $1,000 fine or bond.
Yeah.
And the guy that was skating in the mall is $1,000.
Yeah. Two misdemeanors, $1,000.
$1,000.
That's all we roll. All right. So meantime, now know this story happened in Louisiana.
Of course it did.
But the woman it happened to, who we do not see in this story, is from Florida. So this is sorta Florida Corner.
A woman is recovering after a bizarre fight for her life. She claims she was attacked by this petting zoo camel at the Tiger truck stop on I-10. But the workers there say the incident was all her fault. News 2's Earl Phelps has the strange details.
Well, Bess, it's almost an unbelievable story because a woman that's surrounded with barbed wire to get to the animal, and she only survived the attack by taking some very, very desperate action.
What is up with that dude's speech pattern? Is that a Louisiana thing?
Mustache might be getting in the way.
Apparently, it sounds like this.
Wait a minute.
Just saying.
Oh, you just want attention.
Meet Casper, 6'3" at the hump and 600 pounds on the hoof.
He might try to eat your camera.
The main attraction at the Tiger truck stop in Gross Ted.
I was shocked because we've had animals for 30 years and never one incident.
Pamela Beauchet is the manager of Tiger Truck Stop. She can't believe what happened last week.
There you go. what happened Wednesday was kind of really crazy.
A woman and man climbed under the barbed wire fence surrounding Casper's enclosure, trying to recover their deaf dog, who climbed inside, going after doggy treats placed too close to the camel.
They was pushed.
I keep waiting for him to start talking about how it's all of people's faults for not following the word of Jesus Christ.
Okay, so let's break this down for a moment. Couple stops at a truck stop, which has a camel and a petting zoo.
Mm-hmm.
They have a deaf dog. The dude throws dog treats into the camel enclosure. The dog then, of course, goes to try to retrieve the treats. They try to call the dog back, but the dog doesn't come because the dog is deaf. So they decide they're going to go get their dog.
On the camel and pushing them, swatting them with the hat and stuff like that.
Casper then got fed up with being harassed and took action.
And camels naturally are gonna sit down. Well, when he sat down, she was underneath him.
So the couple has gone into the camel enclosure to rescue the deaf dog that they essentially sent in there because they threw the dog treats in. They were harassing the camel, and the camel sat on her.
Karma.
That's where we are. So you're asking yourself, how do you get out from under a camel that is sat on you?
And the woman had to resort to desperate action to free herself.
I might feel kind of funny saying this on TV, but she actually bit him in his private area. That's about as nice as I could put it.
After the bite, Casper got off of the woman.
Yeah, me too, bro. Me too, bro.
Oh my God, that couldn't have been timed any better.
Yeah, man. Hey, he might not. He does a good job editing, despite the way that he talks. He does a good job editing.
Let's tag this out.
The ordeal wasn't over. She and the man she was with were given citations for what they allegedly did to Casper.
3 citations. I believe it was for cruelty to an animal. We have a leash law to keep your animals on a leash.
And a 3rd citation for trespassing. Casper, gentle, hand-fed, but still intimidating.
Whoa.
Did they get it for bestiality?
Yeah, right.
I think the real question is, and if you read this story, because this story went far and wide, if you read this story, there's, especially in the San Francisco Chronicle, there's a lot of questions like, why is there a camel at a truck stop?
Yeah.
Why are they abusing? Why are these people abusing? Talking about the other people abusing the animals. Why are you keeping a camel at a truck stop?
It's Louisiana, man.
Yeah, somebody had a chance to buy a camel. They're breaking up the circus, and they're like, "I'll take a camel."
The other news that I read on this story, now not on the WBRZ2 news site, that the woman and her man were from Florida, and that the camel didn't sustain any serious injuries because she had no teeth.
Then was it even a bite?
It was she gummed his balls.
I know some guys that would pay top dollar for that.
Right? That's a category.
Is it a suck or a blow?
It was just a gumming, bro.
Gumming them balls. I think we found a name for the show. Gumming the balls. All right, let's get the hell out of here.
Let's leave the hustle and bustle for small town news.
All right, the people of Plattsburgh, New York are mad and they're not going to take it anymore, and they're writing in to speak out. I'm going to do these out of order, only because of expediency. This one's titled Gums, ironically enough. Hey, why are dentists all of a sudden trying to get patients to spend money on special cleanings, claiming it will save their teeth and gums? I've heard from several friends about this and experienced it myself. A regular cleaning every 6 months doesn't seem enough anymore. Well, I guess it's so that if you have to bite a camel's balls,
Yes.
the gums still have teeth in them. Our taxes pay to build, staff, and maintain our prisons. Additionally, we pay to purchase the machines and raw materials to make license plates. The governor wants an additional $25. How many times do we have to pay for the plates? Once.
Wait, what? So they're trying to say because
they think that license plates are all made in prison. I don't know that they are anymore.
Well, and also like because their tax dollars purchase the machines that they should get them for free. There's no maintenance and materials that are.
They're mad that it's another $25.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey, the North Country is very fortunate to have Michael Cashman and his positive outlook. He's insightful and passionate about his commitment to the growth and livability of our area. Signed, Michael Cashman's mom.
Or it's just signed Michael Cashman.
Hey, thank you, Mayor and Council, for painting the Welcome to the City of Plattsburgh sign. Much improved. Oh, thank God, the one near the rolled Rite Aid.
Yeah, wow, finally.
Now finish the job and add a flower bed base to match the others.
Plattsburgh pride.
Wow. You can't hashtag a newspaper column.
You cannot. Here's the other. You can't please these fucking people.
But like this is a printed newspaper. And like using a hashtag in a printed newspaper, what's going to happen when I press on it?
I'm surprised they weren't complaining about the fact that they did it.
They didn't use the right blue. Why did they use periwinkle instead of steel?
Hey, most recently, the city's been doing a nice job of repaving our streets. Unfortunately, here it comes, Kogan Avenue has been left off their list. There's no curbing, and it's an extremely dangerous pothole-infested section of the street from Cornelia to Park Avenue. Do the right thing and curb/pave this section of Kogan Ave. Signed, people who live there.
Yeah.
Come on, you can't have potholes on Park Avenue.
And not just that, but how do you know that you've been left off their list? Have you seen the list?
You just made the list. And finally, people go to play bingo to relax. What the players don't understand is the lack of heat. It's so cold that many play with coats on and 3 layers of clothing. Please take some profit to buy your fuel. Your crowds would increase if people were comfortable. Signed, old people. I go to play bingo and my hands are cold and I have to wear a sweater and a coat.
It's so cold.
It's 80 degrees in here.
Oh, man, fuck that shit.
You don't understand how cold it is. All right, that's going to do it for us in this episode of the WTH podcast. Thanks, everybody, for streaming us live, for downloading the show, whatever you might have done, however you might be listening. We do appreciate you. We thank you very much. Back with a fresh new show for Wednesday, as I will be jetting off to the Great American Beer Festival.
Get drunk.
Colorado.
I don't need to go to Colorado to get drunk.
Well, I mean, you don't have the kid.
Sample the fun. I'm going with just a member of my wedding party, one of my close friends. It had buzzed me up and said, "Hey, do you want to go?" And I said,
"Yes."
Oh, you've got tickets and you're paying for the hotel? Yes.
I'm telling you, bro. Like, this is your
it's literally my only vacation.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be awesome. Yeah. Enjoy it. Get drunk.
So, yeah,
that's right.
And high, because it's legal there.
Well, look, it's legal here too, but that doesn't mean I need. If I'm that drunk, if I'm got 800 beers to sample, I don't need to get high.
You might.
We'll see you next time,
baby.
Bye.
Oh my God!